Welcome back to the Oversharers podcast. My name is Hada.
I'm Kulton.
And today we have a lovely special guest. And her name is Halima.
We know you as Halima Oshen.
Yeah.
Does everyone else know you as Halima Oshen?
People would know me as Wags.
Oh, Wags, yeah! What's your origin story? That's a question we like to ask.
I studied point of sale visual merchandising. I was a stylist essentially. So that's like shop floor styling.
Okay.
Yeah, window styling.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah.
And then when I decided to start wearing hijab, I felt that there wasn't a fashion, you weren't allowed to be in fashion as a Muslim.
It felt really weird, like doing shop window and having all these goals as a non-hijab.
Yeah.
To then putting on the hijab, and then suddenly it's like,
It was a 360.
Were there any limits or like?
I left my job.
Okay.
Because it was almost like I was known for my hair and I was known for like my styles and things like that. So I left it, but not based on the fact that people were judging me. I left it based on the fact that I outgrew that position.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there were opportunities for me to go to better positions. I outgrew it in a sense of like, I felt like my faith came first.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to understand myself as a Muslim. Mind you, like obviously I've grown up a Muslim by name and my family are Muslims and mashallah, like, you know, my parents pray. But I think at that point I was just trying to find myself in my faith. So I was like, okay, let me just like, and I thought fashion was haram. I mean, people would still think fashion is haram, but that's like, you know, it's up to them. Like, you know, just another, that's a debate for another day. Debate for another day.
But did you find that people were treating you any differently because you decided to put a hijab on?
100%. It was almost like, what happened? Are you okay? What do you mean I'm okay? What do you mean? One person, I remember one woman, I remember her face so clearly. She looked at me and she goes, are you having a bad hair day? I swear to God.
Oh
Wallahi.
my God.
She said it to me. Oh my God. The way she dropped it.
That's mad.
You're having a bad hair day. It was like, what? No.
Often
like,
I do.
My one was
You know,
when I
that's
put a
the
hijab
reason.
on randomly at work, someone said to me, "You're getting married."
No, I didn't get married. They just kind of thought it was because I was having a bad hair day. And I think I stayed in the position for about a few more months. I think maybe 6 months. It's not like I just up and left.
Yeah.
No, maybe not even 6 months. But regardless, you know, a few months later, left. I was just at home and I was just kind of like, you know, twiddling my fingers and thinking what to do. I actually got a job in a call center.
Yeah.
Because it was just something to do.
We've all done that.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, it's so fun.
It's so fun.
It's actually going to fun, not going to lie. So I was in that for a while prior to marriage. And then after I got married for about a year, just kind of trying to figure my life out, I even pursued youth work because I was like, okay, maybe that's something I want to do, which I do enjoy, or I did enjoy. But I miss fashion. I missed it so much. So then I was like, right, where is the fashion with hijabis? And there wasn't any.
So you identified.
So this is pre-Basma,
Yeah.
lifelong percussions.
Yeah, Habiba.
Habib
Yeah,
is
more or
Silva,
less.
yeah.
Yeah, more or less. They were babies. Habiba was a baby. Dina was around. And I'll tell you why Dina was around. Because she did was it Channel 4 or
She did the iPlayer documentary thing. Is that what I'm thinking of?
iPlayer? Was it BBC?
Right,
it was
okay,
something to do with that. It was many years ago.
I feel like I watched
this
that.
was like this pre her marriage. I think she was at uni at the time. Yeah, this is that
She used to
time.
do different haircut.
She was the
colours, I
first,
remember.
like, you know.
Yeah.
So this is pre all of them, more or less. Like, you know, I think Dina was the first to kind of come out and she was really into fashion and she was living between Wales and London. Yeah, it was a whole new world back then. Well, it's a whole new world now, but it was a whole like different world back then.
Now.
This is way before brands even were doing website, like, you know, photo shoots. Everything was on a mannequin. Everything was like store based.
Oh, so this is like before the death of the high street.
Online.
Yeah, pre-online. I mean, mind you, modest fashion was back then, really, you know, where'd you get your hijabs from? Market. You know, there were some brands that were doing like these a little bit more of that fancier style, you know, but there wasn't really, and most stores that did have online platforms were all being shot on mannequins.
Damn.
So yeah, so then at that time I wasn't doing photography. I was actually, I got in contact with a brand up north, and I was like, oh, you know, I'd love to do some styling for you. Like, who does your, like, you know, do you do photo shoots? Would you consider doing photo shoots? And they were like, oh yeah, like, you know. And then I went, I styled their shoot, did the hijab. There was faceless, everything's faceless back then, you know, not allowed to show the faces. I also did like image therapy with Muslim women, so women that don't know how to dress for their body type, you know, don't know how to dress or don't feel comfortable or confident in how they can dress modestly.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
I would never thought you were a stylist. That's amazing. And then you ventured into photography.
So I ventured into photography because I couldn't understand why there were no Muslim female photographers shooting Muslim female modest brands. Like there were all these random,
there
like,
isn't a lot.
Nearly as much as we'd like.
No,
to see.
there isn't. And it's a shame actually, because I don't know. I think this is something I talk about within the agency. I'm always looking for talent, like talent that I think would be able to handle the kind of work that we do. But
there you go, girls.
Yeah.
Make sure you contact Oshen
please don't.
Agency.
No, not yet. I haven't no vacancies yet, please.
Halima, you're actually like one of the OGs. You talk about Dina as being an OG. I feel like you're in that category of
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not an OG in terms of like being
Beauty,
known
not
as
like
OG,
in the background.
But in the background.
No, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I know modest fashion inside out. Like, if anyone was going to write, but I'm not saying this in a really like stuck up way, but if anyone were to write a book about modest fashion, I think I'd do a really good job at writing a book about modest fashion, not how to dress like modest fashion, where it started.
Yeah.
Because
do you think it started in the UK?
I'll be honest, the brand that led the way, that really shook the industry, was Inaya. Pre-clothing, Inaya was like an accessory brand, like they were doing bangles or something. Because I remember having her as a Facebook friend back then. So then when
this is insane.
Yeah,
do you know how like these are actually gems of knowledge?
So when she came into the scene, she had two big models that came and she shot with. I mean, I didn't do their shoots, but she shot with Hamasa and I think it was Tia, and that shook everyone because it was like, wait, what? I mean, if you look back at the picture, when I look back at their pictures now, like, lol, like the big hijab styles and, you know, like, but when they came in, even I was like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They changed up the game. And that's when brands, they knew that they had to level up. Like, brands that were shooting on mannequins, like, changed up. They 360'd their business plans, I'm telling you, because they knew that Inaya came in and that was it. And I think the States had a lot of, you know, the thing with the States, I know brands now because we have like really, really lovely, amazing clients from the States and Canada. But back then, I don't think, I can't really say much for them. But the UK scene was, that was
popping.
Coming up.
And it was like a small time frame as well. Like, I remember Inaya, their abayas, they had like those nude browns.
Yeah.
And like they popped off. And then there's another brand that did really well.
Certain brands I don't mention.
Okay, maybe not. But anyway, there's a few brands that I would say resemble similar. I would say similar business plan to them.
Yeah.
I think I remember lots of people doing that modest fashion
week.
Yeah. And that was like in Turkey perhaps.
Right. So the first ever modest fashion week, London one, was actually done by someone called Seema. And it was done. Where did you do your live? It was in Rich Mix. I think it was there.
Oh.
Yeah, this was like 10 plus years ago, I think. It's funny because I met up with her on Friday.
Halima, you're basically one of the like proponents of modest fashion.
Oh, wow, okay.
You should write a book. I love this.
I feel like the girlies now that are coming up now have no idea how hard you guys worked to make life easier for them in the content creation game right now.
Not gonna lie, like people, the likes of like Dina, the likes of Habiba, Manal, she was here last year. I love her. I'm gonna see her tomorrow. She's coming for a shoot. I will. The girls did do a lot to really roll in, and like they came out and they did a lot and they got stick for a lot. And you know, one thing that really hurts me is that, because obviously I've spoken to many of them and the hate they get and the level of like toxic behavior from Muslims, like I get it, you know, like hijab, and I get it, everyone has their journey, and I get all of that, I truly do. Like I will never say like, yes, this is 100% halal and this 100% haram. But you know what? Just let it be. Like, not everyone, like if someone was to throw the religion down my throat, I kid you not, I wouldn't have started wearing hijab. I started wearing hijab because I saw 2 happy girls on the bus.
Oh,
I swear to God. Cutest. I saw 2 girls in abaya and khimar and all of that.
And they just looked happy.
And they just looked happy. And I went home, and it's funny, I was on the bus, I went home, I showered, I got this abaya out of the cupboard, I don't even know, I think my aunt gave it to me. I got some hijab, like, you know those pashmina scarves?
Yeah.
Put it on, started praying.
They're doing crying. A comeback, those ones.
Yeah, they are doing a comeback, actually. It's quite funny. But, you know, so it's like, back then, like, you know, and they don't get it any easier. I mean, Habiba, mashallah, married now. She's living her best life. Tropical best life. I love her. But yeah, like, you know, she still gets it. You know, a lot of these girls still get it.
You know what? I remember that video when Dina took off her hijab and it was, she did a whole YouTube video on all the negative comments. Yeah. She just read them out. And honestly, it was just like...
It was sad.
It was so sad. And it still hasn't changed. Like the other day, we put up a video of Manal just talking about her love story, how she met her. It wasn't even a haram way.
People were like, "Oh, that's wrong.
It wasn't even
she
haram.
Have been talking to this man." Okay, so how would she have met her husband?
How do people just face each other and they're married one day? But like the point is, I don't even care about that. What triggered me the most, and I really want to say something. Yeah. But it's like whenever Muslim women speak. About themselves, about their relations, about any experience, about their journey of hijab. It's just a flood of attacks. And I know it's like little warriors behind their little keyboards, but in my mind I'm like, I probably know that in your bed you're probably bashing the bishop, doing whatever you need to do to get through life, and you're being the biggest hypocrite in the world by just bringing people down. And it's like it
do you know what makes me laugh though? Okay, there's a couple of things that make me laugh. One of them is when people put music on a TikTok. And they're like, you shouldn't use music.
Oh, shut up!
But why are you on TikTok? Like, how did you get to? You obviously are on the For You page.
Scrolling?
How are you scrolling without listening to music?
Like, why are you on TikTok watching 2-3 women talk about love stories
when you can just scroll past?
You shouldn't even be watching women. It's as simple as that. But no one's judging. Just shut up.
Yeah, I think it's a lot, and I'm being very honest with you. This is happening online, offline, every line. Like, unfortunately. Dina's one was online and all these other girls, because after Dina it was like a rolling effect for some reason, but
Dina's one was mad.
It was a madness. But what I'm trying to say is that I'll give you myself for an example. Like, I'm going to throw myself into this. Last year when you guys were at the studio, I was having like some like next level, I don't even know how to explain it. I was questioning hijab a lot. Nothing to do with anyone. I've been wearing hijab very happily for like 15 years, nearly 16. I don't even know. I've not been counting. Quite very happily, very proudly. All of a sudden last year, something came over me and I was just questioning it. Like, but well, why? Hold on a second. Shaitan really plays with you in different ways. And it's such a shame that when he does, people can't let other people be and figure it out. If people came to me, like, I don't know how these girls do it. And I think one of the reasons why I got nervous at the beginning of this podcast, mashallah, you guys have numbers. You know, a lot of people listening, a lot of people like tuned in. And for me, I don't have numbers and I don't truly aspire to it, if I'm honest with you. And I get nervous because I don't like the whole judgment scene. I don't think anyone does, but I can't tolerate it. You know, these girls, like, mashallah, they have backbones to deal with that. Mental health, like, for these girls, it's not fair. Like, I've spoken to some of these influencers, subhanallah, like, the hurt in their hearts and the hurt in their eyes and how they, like, talk to me and tell me what they're facing. Guys, you need to like kick back. I get it, fear Allah. Yes, we need to fear Allah. I get it, like, you know, that's not hijab or this is not hijab or that's not. But hijab is not just this. It's like everything that comes from within. It comes from your tongue. You telling someone like, oh, fear Allah, you know, you're not going to on the day of judgment. You could have driven someone away from the faith. Like, and if you think, because there's this whole idea that someone said to me and I was like, subhanallah, that really like hit me in the heart. They said about the Quran, they said the Quran can either guide you or misguide you. And it really depends on how you look at it and how you read it. And And I was like, subhanallah, like, whoa, like, what do you mean? Like, it took me a minute to really process what this person was saying. And then I realized, hold on a second, everything is done with intention. And if your intention is that, you know what, I want to wear hijab and I'm going to wear it for X, Y, and Z reason and blah, 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 and take it step by step, you've done it. If someone's intention is, I want to take it off because you know what, I'm not representing it in the way that maybe people want me to represent. Because, mate, trust me, Adina could have been a niqabi, she still would have been like, bashed left, right, and center. 100%. You're in a niqabi, but you're doing this wrong. You're doing this. It's always something someone's doing wrong.
I don't think it has anything to do with religion for these people.
No,
I think it's just hate, and
it's a lot of culture. And people won't like me saying that, but a lot of it is got to do with where you are in the world and how you present yourself. Because I guess in the UK, you're either like very upfront and just like, yeah, you might as well take it off. Well, it depends on where you're from in the UK, because you know everyone in different parts of the UK are different ways. But I just think people need to rein it in. And I know me saying it's not like everyone's going to rein it in all of a sudden, but
I think it's an ego thing as well.
It's very egotistic.
It's very egotistic. It's very like, this person doesn't know me and I'll say whatever the F I want.
I've got a fake account. They don't know who I am.
And I don't think there's any way that anyone's ever going to stop it. And I think people obviously need to manage. And like Kulthum says, it normally doesn't affect me. I don't care.
Mashallah.
Like, I normally message the people that, like, for example, Chinita or even Aziza. Like, I message them, like, guys,
Aziza, mashallah, I don't know her. I've never met her, but she's so funny. I remember seeing some of her TikToks from before, but the fact that it's her personality trait and it's okay. And I always think like this, right? Not that it's an excuse for anyone to do anything, but the Prophet ﷺ, he was perfect, right? Yeah. Perfect form of human being. And the four rightly Khalifas that came after him, they had their own types of personalities and the way they governed the Muslim Ummah. Abu Bakr was a certain type of way. Umar was a certain type of. Uthman was a certain. I mean, we know that Umar was really like strict and tough. Uthman was so soft. Yeah. And then you've got Ali.
Abu Bakr, very truthful.
Yeah, truthful, exactly. And you look at how they were, and you know that, you know what, they were such great people. Look how different they were and how they run and governed the Ummah. So I just sometimes think, you know what, we're not the same. If you guys are there sitting at home and you're praying and you're reading Quran and you're amazing, babes, get off TikTok, get off Insta, get off everything and carry on doing that. Because you know what, you are in a better state than I am. Everything's a fitna. Going outside your house is a fitna. Opening the app is a fitna. Say Bismillah when you're like, there's du'as that you should be like reading when you open up these apps, because you know you need to just like try and keep all this fitna away. Modest fashion is a fitna. But everything is.
Exactly. It's how you,
everything is how you perceive it, how you use it. But we're very lucky. We have like all these brands that are catering to us.
When you vocalize negativity and you show people the things that they're saying to you, it humanizes it. So people actually think like, what the F? Like someone actually said that to you? Instead of it just being a comment that you just read and you leave off. But just quickly, because we need to wrap it up a little bit. Halima, I want you to come back again.
Yeah, me too.
I want to do this every week.
It's such a good episode.
Thank you.
No, I just want to say a massive thank you to you for all the work that you've done, which has made life easier for us.
That's really
also
nice.
No, there's a lot. It's a lot, but you have. I don't think you realise like how influential you've been behind the scenes. Yeah,
especially the scenes. Like I remember watching Instagram stories of, I think when Habiba was starting her fashion brand, that amazing shoot that you guys did with the fruit.
And
like,
that was such an
epic. The colours, epic.
That was built by us as well. Well, I can't say it was me. It was Wakas. It was he's done like some really amazing
It's sets. Just like the stuff that you guys come up with is Vogue level.
Thank
Vogue
you.
Level. Inshallah, British Vogue.
Inshallah.
Give you the props that you need.
They need to actually. I think problem with me, I don't push past a certain boundary. I don't know why. Someone tell me why I don't. But
it's time.
I think there are like, you know, because there might be another Ocean Studio. What? Who said that?
It will
Ocean Studio.
Ocean's our home.
Is gonna there's gonna be like various Ocean Studios.
I love that.
Ocean Studios.
You're trying to manifest the West London one, aren't
you?
I
am.
We're happy with whatever.
Make it so that you are able to not only find your perfect studio, but expand Ocean. So that the whole
there's a lot of things that we want to like do. A lot that we want to get in, like bring a lot of Muslim girls involved in as well. So yeah, it's all in the pipeline, but you know.
Yeah,
business
and we want to work with you again.
I want you guys in ASAP. Like, inshallah.
Last time we had so much fun, guys.
I know we had
so epic. It was so epic.
We were little rookies back then. Look at us now.
I know my poses.
I love that.
Angles.
No, those pictures were like epic, and not because I took them, but like you guys gave emotion. You guys gave them. I still look back at those pictures, and I'm like, look at them.
No, Haley, we're coming back.
I can't wait.
So we're gonna slowly move into masculine and feminine energy. So I've been reading and listening to these two women.
Is it Wizard Lizards?
It's Wizard Lizard and someone else. I forgot the other person's name now. What was it? Oh, that's not helpful. It's on TikTok anyway. Okay. So they're really about understanding your feminine energy and using your feminine energy to get what you want, whether you're married, whether you want a man, whether you want money, So I wanted to ask you guys, on the spectrum, where do you put yourself? Do you think you're quite feminine, or do you give masculine energy, or do you go, between both? And has that changed over time?
I think I'm like both.
Yeah, I would say somewhere in the middle.
I can be either or, depending on my mood, depending on the situation, depending on the people. I think I'll be honest with you, I am married, so I do give more feminine vibes towards my husband, but that's because I just think that's, it's your own space. It's the person that you can give your feminine energy to. I think outside of marriage, I'm still feminine, obviously, but I think I have this like guard up, and that's where my masculine energy comes in. Also, I'm a PCOS girly. PCOS girl, just give out masculine energy, but I can't generalize. But I think I am in the middle.
I don't think I understood feminine or masculine energy until like the last 2 years, but I think majority, because of the way that I was raised, I think I give off a lot of masculine energy, especially since having children, which is not a good thing, because obviously I'm married and I should my feminine energy should allow me to let my husband do the things that he does, but like because I'm an only child that grew up on my own, and like single mom household, daddy issues, it gives me the vibe where I was like, I have to do everything myself. So I'm always quite logical, I'm always quite driven, I'm always quite like to the point of what I need, and that gives off like quite masculine energy. Even the way I solve problems is quite masculine, I think. Even at work or like with people is quite masculine. But then this girl called Wizard Liz was like, well, darling, you're a girl and you need to learn how to adapt to your feminine energy to get what you need, and it bloody works.
I think I'm more on the feminine side, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm very laid back. Like I just let things go quite a lot. I always let things go. I never like hold on to stuff. If something pisses me off, I think it will piss me off in the moment, but then I won't hold on to it. I don't think I've ever had to like truly be in my masculine. Maybe like a little bit like in my family home here and there, but I don't know. I just think like generally I'm quite a laid back person. Like I don't let things get to me. I'm very I believe that like just being stressed for things that are outside of your control is gonna just make you like worry, and I don't want to feel like that all the time. So it's better to just, you know what I mean, like do things. Do things that make you.
No, that's really chilled. I'm a warrior.
I'm a warrior. I don't know how to explain. It's funny, yesterday, like my husband said to me, it's just the way your mind works when you think about a situation. You're not like those people that, if someone makes a comment, a lot of people can just let those comments slide, or they'll just be like, or they'll bitch about that comment. I kind of sit there and I kind of break that comment down. And then it doesn't stress me per se. Like I won't let it get in the way of my day-to-day running, but I think generally I know that I hold these things in my heart and in my head, and that's what probably leads to me having a bit of a like more of a masculine energy. I don't know, but like not overthink. I don't want to say I want to overthink. I've forgotten the word that he used.
It'll come later.
But it really depends on who you're with. So like around my siblings, I just know the sort of relationship that we have. Like they could say the most craziest things to me. I would never internalize it because I just know that, like the following day we're just going to make up and be fine, or if we don't make up we're going to be fine anyway. When you could just, someone will just say, oh, like we've run out of milk, can you go and get some, or something, like it just breaks the ice. But I would say like in the last few months I have been internalizing things a bit more, but it's very new to me. Like internalizing things is a very new concept to me because I never used to internalize everything. And I always dealt with people in a way where like I would never take things personally because I just know that person. I know that they probably don't mean it, and if they do mean it, there's probably a reason behind it that I probably need to address with them. But I'm just honestly like I don't take life very seriously. Like
that's a very positive way to think.
Yeah, like I'm just
to think of like to assume someone else's, to think positive of someone. It's a really good thing to have, especially when they've done something to you.
I know, and it's probably my biggest flaw. It's probably my fatal flaw.
No, I wouldn't see it as a flaw.
Yeah.
I think it's like Islamically, it's such a beautiful characteristic to have.
Yeah.
Because you don't hold what people like do to you or say to you. I really wish, like, I know, inshallah, you know, we all should like have self-development.
Yeah.
But that's such a beautiful character. Mashallah, Allah Mubarak. That's such a beautiful characteristic to have. Like just letting people just kind of not get away with it, but it's almost like you just let it slide. It's like,
it's all right, Allah will deal with them.
Yeah. No, that's a really good way to deal with it.
But I don't think I've ever been like really. I don't think anyone's ever done anything to really affect. Like just
mashallah, may Allah
like, you live in your world though.
Yeah,
I think you're a very like my own bubble type of
person. very main character as well.
No, good.
But I just think you have to be, because if you don't know yourself, if you don't know who you are as a person, like other people's opinions of you can affect you, right?
Yeah.
But if you know yourself, then
I think but it's also, I think it is how you literally take things in, how you process things. Because I've been trying to be down that way of just not letting people affect my mood. It's hard. I tell you what, it is hard. It's at the same time, I think for the past year, I've really just kind of like tried to grasp the aspect, and you just cut people off. Yeah. You just have to put yourself first and just get those people out of the way that are giving you that bad energy and negative energy. And you just got to live the way you need to live
to get to the next stage.
Yeah.
So like that's some of the things that she talks about in feminine energy. It's like grasping who you are. So like so one thing that she talks about is obviously people talk about manifesting life, blah blah, like who are you in the next 5 years? And I'm so dumb, I never
you drop
you know when people used to say, where are you gonna be in 5 years time? Like I used to say some generic bullshit like, oh, I have money, or like but I never like logically thought about what is Hodha in 5 years time going to be, or like what is the best version of Hodha going to be in 5 years time. And it was only recently that I sat down after that video and I was like, oh my god, like what is the best version of me? So I'm just wondering if you guys ever thought about that. Like in my mind, the best version of me is like size 10.
Love that for you.
I know, right? Model S. Like filthy rich on a beach somewhere, might not happen,
sipping
could happen,
mocktails.
you never know. But like the point of that exercise is like you gradually work towards getting those things. So like obviously what I said is quite stupid, but if I want to be size 10, then obviously I have to exercise to be size 10.
Yeah.
And like and then she was like, you have to set yourself goals in the year to reach that point. So you can't just be like, next year in 2024 I want to be size 10. She was like, next year in November, in like the set that I did, so like in November, in June, like every 6 months you have to recap your goal and be like, how am I going to reach this harder that's amazing in the next 5 years without having to. So I learned something new, ladies.
Oh, love that.
And I won't ask you what your 5 years are though, don't worry. Keep that to yourself.
Don't
want to stress you out.
That will stress me out.
Would it stress you out?
The way that I try and think about like the next 5 years is I have like the only thing that I can do is control the present, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, like maybe I can put small things in place now while I have like the capacity, and maybe those things in the next 5 years will slowly come to fruition. Yeah. But if I think about now until 5 years, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like this is too overwhelming for me. Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing that. I feel like I've slept for like 20 years and I've just woken up. Honestly, guys. I need to give you this lady.
I think I want to, because I think I just roll as the day comes.
And I think, but I mean, alhamdulillah, rolling has gotten you somewhere really good.
Yeah, I like rolling with the days too. Letting the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've done that for a while, and in my head I'm like,
maybe you just feel like, but maybe it's
where are the chips?
Some people work different though, don't they?
True.
I mean, everyone works different in their own ways. And it could be that is what makes you feel like you're going to be able to reach a certain type of goal.
Yeah.
But then I feel like that's with everyone. If I had to give myself a 5-year like goal plan, I have to do it. And then you just kind of, it's up to you whether you want to sit there and manifest that and really like work your way to it, or just kind of like have it there and just be like, are you gonna go? Yeah. I'll see you in 5 years.
But I prefer like shorter term. So like in the next 3 months or in the next 6 months, we're gonna do this. Because then like the things that you do in those short like little bits,
they go up. Like they work their way up.
They build up to the 5 year, and then in 5 years you're gonna be like,
And also, what's amazing is like if you think back to 17-year-old self, like looking
go back there,
looking at in our 30s now. I'm going to claim 30. It's 4 months left.
That's the best.
But it's like 17-year-old self to 30. Like, I'd be like, girl.
I feel like in 17, though, your goals were very sort of like set by the environment that you're in at the time. So like things like, I need to pass my A-levels. I need to get into uni. That was a massive goal for me.
Really? Okay, yeah.
I was like, I need to get into uni. I need to pass my exams. It's very education orientated. Yeah. And then after that, I remember just feeling so lost. I was like, I don't know what to do now.
But like, if you look back, if you spoke to little Callie, 17, and she sees you now, she'll be like, girl,
oh my God, wow.
You're getting it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all perspective if you think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. God. Honestly, that lady got me. I'm going to send you guys the YouTube details. I'll send you the link. So there's this viral old Somali lady that was on TikTok the other day. I think I sent you the video. It's so funny. So she's basically talking about women that are like in like horrible situations, like suffering situations with husbands. And it was just so sweet, like the way she was advising.
She was like, she
was like, just let him go.
Let him go.
Oh, she's saying it in Somali.
Yeah, but it's like, I feel like the nuances in Somali are just so much
funnier.
They're
just very powerful.
It's very more powerful. Like, I don't know how to, I feel like it would be this, you're Bengali, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like, if it was someone in your language, I think there's certain things that they say in your language that mean a certain thing that you can't try and like.
And it's very empowering.
You can't translate to an English way. But like, the gist of it was, like, let him go. Like, why are you making yourself suffer? Like, think about your mental health.
Like, if he's not giving you like a family, if he's not giving you like a home, if he's not giving you like love, if he's not giving you this, just leave him. Don't be abused. She was like, don't be abused.
Don't be abused. And it just
don't get used. Don't get used.
Literally, but used. Like it was amazing because Somali.
I love that for her.
I know older Somali women are often.
I love older Somali women.
Do you?
Some next level like Power Rangers, honestly.
Quite literally.
Mashallah, like
they have so much wisdom.
So much. And strength, like you can tell, like physical strength, mental strength,
like they went through
emotional strength, like But then I feel like, is that like ethnic? I mean, like Bengal, I could say it's like my mum. When I look at her, I'm like, Mum, you're so strong, but honestly, like whatever happened to me.
Yeah.
But then I do like I have to say to myself, like Halima, like.
There's different
you've been through what you've been through. Alhamdulillah.
Like, and you guys have different life, life experiences.
100%.
But like what caught me off guard was the fact that like often Somali women are quite like, they venture towards the idea of being patient and staying in a situation.
I don't think that's just Somali women.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean older.
Yeah, the older generation.
Especially in Muslim communities. They venture on being patient.
Yeah.
And striving through, working it out.
Yeah.
So like it was very different to see someone actually saying, you know what?
Just go.
Yeah, why'd you have to suffer?
Yeah. No, there's a level of like suffering that I think women should not have to put up with. But there's also a level of patience that we should have. And I feel like there is a lot online now. Like compared to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the online world wasn't like how it is now. And I think women empowerment is amazing. But I also feel like we need to really rein it in sometimes and go back to the sunnah. Like I'm being really honest. Like I'm like, we're all far from perfect. I'm very far from perfect. But one thing that I always have to understand is that a man's right is a man's right, a woman's right is a woman's right, and we have to be able to work in that. And actually, like marriage is very black and white. The staple, like the foundation of it is very black and white.
Yeah.
And if a husband cannot provide for his wife what Islamically he has to, then that's all question marks there. But a woman also has her responsibilities. So it's like I think it is, as I said to you guys earlier, I think it depends on each circumstance where
100%.
people are. But yeah, I don't think women should sit around and just take abuse.
No.
That's not the way forward. That is not the way forward. But I think a lot of women are standing up
for themselves.
Yeah, and good for them.
And I think they've got more circumstance to do that because of the environment they're in. They're working, they're more educated. They've got sustenance to provide for themselves now. So it's like, if that was the only thing that was holding you back, then really and truly you can leave. So yeah, I don't know. It's sad, but I also embrace it, man. I'm just like, don't suffer.
Yeah.
If you're not happy,
I mean, there's a bit difference between patience and tolerance. And I think patience is one thing, and I think just like I'm really I'm intolerant to a lot of stuff. So I can say I'm very patient, but I'm very intolerant to like shit. So just don't, don't you know?
But there's certain boundaries.
There are certain boundaries, but there's space for forgiveness for a lot of things. But that's only if you see someone actually really working on themselves and having self-development. But then there's also people that make it out like they're working on themselves and they're not. Then you know, it's opening up the eyes, you know.
It's giving knock.
It's giving. I'm a little bit toxic too there, so it's okay. Right. You've got to be honest, guys.
No, it's true. When someone says they're working on themselves and then they're not, they're actively like they're making promises to do things, and they've actively decided they're not going to. It's like, okay, so you want to show the rest of the world that you're this person, but really you're just being an abusive person to your spouse.
No, I think that's not on. Like, you know, there's a fine line, and there's patience, and then there's stupidity, which is the intolerance one. But yeah, I think fine line, girls. You know your rights.
Yeah, know your rights. Have your boundaries.
And know your responsibilities too. Actually, you know, because we all want to be that woman and we want to be that girl, you know, we want to be wined and dined and all of that, but we have our responsibilities too.
Valid. Right, first scenario.
Okay, so the title here is Husband Just Gaslit Me About Talking to Other Girls. Hello, I just wanted to get your point of view on an issue I've been facing for a while. I've been married to my husband for a little more than a year now, but some issues that would occur on a very occasional basis would make me rethink a lot about us. I'll tell you those. So number one, my husband had both of us agree before our marriage that we don't have contact with any of our exes anymore, not even having them on social media.
Valid.
Fairs. Exes also include love interest or someone we even liked as per his request. We agreed, and I did as asked with a very clear heart, removing everyone that I even may have liked before but never reciprocated. Later, I noticed he still had 3 girls that were unknown to me in all his social media accounts. I asked him about them, and he said that they are just class fellows and it would seem rude to remove them. I moved on. One time I searched their names up in his phone and there were chats of them from before our marriage containing nudes from both parties, sexting, pictures of girls in his house with him. He told me he's never had a girl over, but I forgave him for this specific because it's his past. Pornography links that the girls would send him to masturbate to, etc.
Ew!
What the hell?
What a little weirdo.
I asked him about this since he told me they're just class fellows, and he simply said, I forgot we had a past. I asked...
Sorry. Okay.
So he said, I forgot we had a past.
What does that mean?
That he forgot that he had all this going on with these girls. Really? Yeah. I mean, how many girls did you have that you forgot about these 3?
I asked him why their nudes were still in his phone. He said, I forgot that they even existed.
Okay.
The problem is he would sometimes still be in contact with them, just not romantically or sexually. After we got married, I told him that it's not a big deal, and he ended up making some personal attacks regarding why I was going through his phone, and my self-esteem was hurt. I just forgave him and moved on. He did remove them at the end. Were those personal attacks necessary?
Question mark.
So the second point is he has a female best friend in his friend group that he has always claimed that he was only platonic with, since she has the personality of a guy, aka no drama, only gets along with guys, isn't fake.
Is that me?
So she's only friends with guys. It's giving pick me.
It's giving Lucy from Love Island. I just like to hang around with the boys.
That's actually how she acted.
I had no problem with her considering I have a few guy friends from uni as well who are part of a bigger friend group. The problem is she says things like, I own his entire wardrobe.
What?
Yeah.
And can take his hoodies anytime I want and won't say anything. We had a pact to get married if both of us were single by 30.
Oh, wow.
She needs to get his approval when she gets a haircut or needs his validation when she is dressed up. I once told him he's not allowed to meet her alone because of this stuff, and I was accused that I'm trying to isolate him away from his friends and take control of his life. Despite me explaining the reason, he told me that this marriage might be the reason why all the good things in his life have to end. I stopped asking him for this. And the last one is, one of his friends got married a year ago too. He's my husband's good friend, but we have met his wife only twice, only for dinner. Recently, I found out that his wife and my husband have added each other on social media and have been texting each other a lot. By a lot, I mean long conversations and voice messages, nothing romantic, just general stuff that they put in their stories. He replies to her stories every time their conversation ends after a day or two. She replies to his sometimes. They talk about how tough married life is and they're consoling each other through this. I had no idea that they were even in personal contact until one day me and my husband were on a trip where there were really bad signals. I was getting signals and he asked me for my hotspot constantly, even stopping on the side of the road for it. He seemed very tense about it, and the moment he connected, I saw on his phone that he was replying to her Instagram messages.
Oh my God.
This man don't want her, man. I'm over it. He's for the streets, I swear to God.
How long have they been married? Only a year?
Yeah, a year and a bit. Just over
also,
a year.
does his friend not know that he's chatting to his wife?
Probably not.
No, but I don't think he is.
So he's not a good friend or a good husband. Interesting.
He kept talking to her even while driving until I pointed this behaviour out. Should I just make you laugh? He was like itching for personal hotspot when he was giving me the ear.
He was dying to speak to her on, not even on text message, guys, on Instagram story.
Yeah. Trying to see. Oh God.
So he kept talking to her even while driving until I pointed this behaviour out. I told him it's not fine with me, and he told me that he's right for this because he's giving her relationship advice for his friend's marriage, and that since she's like his sister, there's nothing wrong with it. He gaslit me saying that I don't want him talking to her in personal messages by asking me to show him a conversation with my best friend's fiance. I showed him and promised to Allah there were 5 messages from before marriage in which he was telling me the location and plan for my best friend's surprise birthday. He said that I've done the same, so I shouldn't have an issue with him. I said nothing and just accepted defeat. He continued talking to his best friend's wife even today. I have noticed that for some reason I can't physically let him touch me anymore without being uncomfortable anymore. I've become genuinely turned off by any advances from him. I've tried to communicate the above issues with him many times, but he manages to gaslight me to an extent that I just stop asking, how do I deal with this?
This reminds me of that episode of Friends. Do you remember the episode where Phoebe and Joey make a pact to get married when they're 40?
Yeah.
It's just not the same. It just made me laugh.
No, but I feel like that was almost like...
It was friendly.
It's friendly, and also this kind of like banter, and I guess it's a different culture and, you know, mindset over like with them. This is
just trifling.
Should we start with point 1?
Yeah.
So point 1 was they both agreed before they got married that they were going to remove all exes, love interests, likes, whatever, from their social media pages. However, he kept 3 girls that are class fellows. And before he was married to them, they were sending nudes, sexting, pictures of girls, nudes from parties, pictures of girls in his house. And she forgave him, pornography links that girls would send him to masturbate to, etc.
Wait, that part, sorry, it's a bit like detailed.
That's weird though, don't you think? Why would a girl be sending him
like how do you
links?
know? Oh, right, but like it's a bit like, oh, I'm sending, like she said, I'm sending you a porno here.
So I think she's obviously clicked on the link perhaps, and she's seen it's a porno, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Or the link could say like,
do this. Or something, I don't know.
I don't know. But like the point is, that's weird in itself. That's not your friend. It's almost like, what friend sends you porn
but
links?
What friend sends you that? And it sounds like some sort of love triangle. Not even a triangle. It just sounds like a hexagon at this point. Like
it sounds like they had a very sexual relationship.
Yeah, but so is it all three of them and him?
Yeah.
That's, no.
It's a hexagon.
It's not, it's a square, babes.
to add their best friend as well.
And also on top of that, he's still in contact with them, but this time it's not romantic or sexual.
No, but if you guys have made that pact from beforehand, then he should abide by that pact.
Absolutely.
It just goes, that's like a no-brainer for me. But
the second point triggers me more, if I'm honest, about the best friend asking for his hoodie, saying that he promised to marry me at 30. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
He's married now.
I feel like this man's a little bit trifling. Well, not a little bit, a lot.
It just sounds like he needs attention.
He's a little shit
from different places.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just sounds really.
It sounds like he's not ready for marriage.
Yeah.
No. But then, like, a lot of guys, well, not a lot of guys, but you hear so many stories, and it only takes something to hit them to be like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God,
So for me, it sounds like she's being very patient. She's letting things slide. Yeah. But it's going to get to a point like at the end.
It's gotten to that point.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be.
She doesn't want to be near him.
She doesn't want him to touch
Subconsciously,
her.
she doesn't want him.
Yeah.
But
like her body is already like
rejecting
him. Yeah. And once that happens, it's only downhill.
Yeah.
But it's also what's sad for me, and it's like I'm not gonna be judgmental, because I think when I was younger, I think I favored more the relationship more than myself, if that made sense. So like I would forget about my boundaries and the things that I valued, or like my morals, or what was important to me, and like I would go with the flow of the relationship just to keep it, because I don't know, I was insecure or whatever. So to me, it sounds like to her like she's got these boundaries, but she hasn't put them in place.
Hasn't put them in place.
But also I think she's kind of forgotten
what
her ideas were, who she is, what's her worth like.
So wait, does she now what did she say at the end? So
she's saying she can't physically let him touch her anymore without being uncomfortable, and she's turned off by his advances. And she's tried to communicate the above issues many times, but he just gaslights her.
So it's almost like he's saying, "Oh, you're not letting me do anything anymore."
Yeah, because you're a married man.
What do you want me to do?
It's like, do you just want to be? Are you a single man? Like he's behaving like he's still single.
He's behaving like he's for the streets. So let him be.
Sometimes you have to let them be, and she has to put she needs to put out that masculine energy now. Like really, she needs to kind of man up, as they say, and really just kind of give what she wants. And she needs to say to him, look, it's either this way or it's no way.
Exactly.
I feel like this is somewhere where it's not about being patient and tolerant. No. It's literally, it's quite point blank.
He's transgressing bounds.
Yeah, if he's not going to abide by such basic rules. I mean, it's
like basic respect.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like if you wanted to be with someone, you would not be speaking to other people.
Yeah.
And it sickens me that I even have to put you in, that she has to put him in this position where he has to question morality and be like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be doing that to my wife. Because clearly you shouldn't be.
Well, if he's doing it with his friend's wife, like if he's like messaging her up and, trying to use his wife's hotspot to message this other woman, his friend's wife, it just goes to show where his values are.
Yeah, it sounds like he's emotionally cheating.
He's thirsty, guys. He's literally stopping the car in the motorway to get hotspot.
That's a madness. Who does that?
He's like itching for the Wi-Fi because he's got bad signal.
That's too much.
And he's telling his wife, give me your hotspot so I can message another woman.
The disrespect! Give me your hotspot.
I think I would have flung my phone. I'm not even gonna lie.
Would have put him in the middle of the highway.
Like I would have flung my phone at his forehead.
Do you know what I think?
I don't know. I don't know how women just like. Why are you giving your hotspot? Is beyond my measure.
You know what? You know what's sad? I don't think she understands what's going on until she realised afterwards that the reason why he's so thirsty for the hotspot is
but like if someone if I don't know, like I know everyone is different, but if my husband turned around and your hotspot, what's your are you okay? What hotspot are you trying to get to?
Who are you trying to message?
No, what hotspot are you trying to? What do you want from me? from my? Don't know. It doesn't work like that. But then again, like I wouldn't have a bar of it.
Yeah, I'm like, excuse me.
Why are you itching? What's wrong?
Yeah.
No, but straight away when he like messaged, when she saw that he was messaging the girl after the hotspot. She should have just been like,
what are you doing? Like, you know, okay, you don't need to go vex mode. You don't need to go down that road. You know, maybe she doesn't even have anger streak in her. Maybe she's just a really
My man's
person.
not even scared of her.
He's
guys.
not.
There's no.
You're like, he's not scared of her.
No, but like, you know, when you're scared of upsetting or hurting your partner,
he's
there's
not
a
even
fear
got
of
that,
hiding the affair. No. My man's not scared at all.
No.
He's not. Just because she's not threatened to leave.
No, yeah, that's it. That's probably what it is. He doesn't see any kind of like any movement from her. She's not trying to leave this relationship. She just wants to go back to him and say, "Oh, please, just stop playing." Okay,
but all she's doing is she's calling out the behaviour. She's calling out the behaviour, and then is just leaving it.
Yeah, no, but then you need to leave it.
Yeah, leave him.
Like almost pause and be like, look, you know what? Maybe you need some space. You need to evaluate what is important to you. I'm gonna go and I don't know.
Or like at the very end when she's collated all her receipts, she could just be like, my problem is this, and this. If you don't change this, and this, I'm out.
But sometimes,
I don't think I can even stay with someone like this,
sometimes just staying and saying that, and he could just I mean, it sounds like he's trying to emotionally manipulate her and say, you're not even letting me have any fun.
Because the fact that she's still staying shows that like it's like, oh, she's still gonna stay with me, even though I'm gonna pretend to basically make some improvements, but ultimately I'm just gonna keep going back to the same.
No, but she's seeing that he keeps going back to the same thing.
Because she hasn't left.
She needs to
take
a break.
Needs to tie her head. Pack her bags. Get the hell out.
Inshallah, she's got somewhere to go. But
you know, back to family's house, friends, wherever. Or if the toxic in me wants to speak, which I always do, the toxic in me, if I really want to cause carnage right now, and there's no saving this.
He's talking to his friend's wife.
I would also put him up with the friend.
That's so true.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie. That's the first thing I probably would have done.
He's talking to his best friend's wife. Like, can we actually deep that?
But did this start in a toxic way? Like, not in a funny. Like, I get the whole kind of, you know, not having exes and blah blah. But if you have to say that to each other, like, is that not saying something about someone's character in the first place?
Right.
Like, why do you even have an ex on your
social media?
Like, why you know, it doesn't even make sense.
You shouldn't have been doing that.
Shouldn't have, like, you know, if you've got it, that's what, you know, it's the past, it's done, dealt with. But why do you need to make a pack at the front, at the beginning of the relationship? That, for me, it feels like the trust issue started already from before they were even married.
100%.
So,
Donnie, it's just like,
I just don't understand why she's tolerating it.
Nah, it's too much.
No, she needs to wake up.
Like, there's too many things piling up now. It's not just one thing. Let it slide.
And you're letting you let something that happened before slide. Okay, that's done. The first issue, right? The 3 girls. But then he went on to.
He's still doing things in the present.
No, but then he went on to speaking to the friend's
his
wife.
bestie,
exactly.
then the friend's wife.
So the first issue, you can just say,
the bestie, I'm just a bit like, whatever. Like, she's just, whatever. She might be either jealous. She didn't have that. Like, it's not hers. So maybe that's why she comes around and she's like, I'm going to take his hoodie. Because, like, so many women have guy best friends. I mean, my best friend is a guy. But, like, it's almost a bit like, you know,
but would he ever say, I'm going to take his hoodie? Like,
I take his clothes all the time, but it's like I see his wife like a sister-in-law, and she just laughs at me because I'm such a masculine. Like, it's that. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what
so
the problem is? The problem is that between this husband and wife, she doesn't have that relationship with this bestie.
No,
you guys have like a relationship altogether. And you guys understand each other and you guys understand your behaviors towards each other. Whereas here, it's like this is something that he's doing without her knowing, essentially, and it's just a conversation between him and the bestie's wife. So it kind of feels like, you know, there's a lack of. Like, I can see why she has
a lack of respect.
Yeah.
There's a lack
also,
of
he doesn't
everything.
have morals, this person.
No, there's no morals.
Not
But then
his
I
friend
feel like
or to
because
his
she's
wife.
letting him get away with these things, she needs to reevaluate herself. She needs to pick up her confidence. She needs to remember who she is.
Yes. 100%.
Tell them who you are.
Indeed.
And I think she needs to just take it from there. Because she doesn't need to be worried about who he's messaging right now. She needs to worry about herself. And I think that's where women sometimes end up going down this dark hole, is that they're so worried about what this man is doing that they lose themselves.
Yes.
Their personality, their drive, their everything.
But you know what? I think the reason why she's losing herself is because all of these issues are being presented from her by the person that she supposedly loves, trusts. It's so easy to just constantly think about that because it's like, what? Like, why is he basically doing this? Like, why?
But when you see, this is where it comes down to your own mental strength, I guess. And it is, if he's doing it. You need to address the issue, but you need to remember who you are. And I think a lot of women keep forgetting who they are when it comes to these things. They lose themselves. They lose, like, you know, their confidence. Like, as soon as you start rattling a woman's confidence, that's it. It just starts going downhill from there. And I feel like one thing about men
take a deep breath, girl.
One thing about men is that, not all, but they don't feel no way to play with our emotions.
Very selfish behaviour.
Very selfish, very selfish behaviour. And I think if you see that in a man, you need to kind of like step back and you need to rewind to who you are. And if you didn't start with a good, with self-confidence, you need to go find yourself. Finding yourself within a marriage is one thing, but if you don't know who you are,
like on your own,
then that's a problem number one. Like, forget
especially
everything
if she
he's doing.
thinks her personality is attached to the relationship.
Like, and he probably is playing on that. The fact that
of course he's playing on it.
Like, he's doing all these little
playing
things.
With her emotions.
He's rattling her. He's manipulating her. He's gaslighting her. He knows now that he's got this woman where he wants. He is living in her mind rent free, and that's where it starts to chip away at you. So it's true. I think you're right. I think she needs to start doing things for herself. I think the first thing she should do though is leave.
Leave and give it. I mean, you know, running to divorce is one thing. That's a whole like ball game. But I think you just need to back up for a second and go and try and figure out yourself. Like, and then he can let him see that what he does while you're away. Because if he doesn't work on himself, then that just shows more about him. And if he doesn't choose to change himself, I mean, what's changing yourself? It's like if he doesn't choose to develop his behavior in a better way. So I think saying to someone, you need to change is almost like, how do you tell someone to change? You know, it doesn't just work like that.
And I think change for him might come differently from her. So like if she leaves, he might react to this in a positive way. And think, like, no, he might even, like, that's it, like, she's gone, what am I going to do? And then change his life.
Or he might just see it as like, oh, she'll be back.
Gone, or she'll be back.
And I can get whoever I want.
She'll be back and I'll get away with this again.
But I think what for me the biggest issue is the fact that every time she brings up a point, the fact that he manipulates her to think that that's not it,
it's
and
not
she
a valid
accepts
point.
it. Is where I think
she's
lost
accepting
herself.
it, or is it she's accepting it to him, but she knows deep down it's not right? Because she wouldn't be writing in.
No, I think she's accepted it in the sense that she's let the battle go.
But so also, like, I think that's quite healthy though, because like if she keeps being reactive over these things, it's just going to drain her. I feel like sometimes it's like, okay, somebody told you it's something completely different. He's being defensive. He's gaslighting you. Okay, all right, that's what you're getting. Maybe she's taken that and thought, okay, like he is. Like, I don't think she's taken that to think I've accepted this. I think she's taken that to, like, just...
It's almost like she's acknowledged that that's his way.
Like, this is his behavior.
But that's a form of acceptance, because at the first point, she was like, okay, and then we dealt with it. And then she was like, this is what happened. And then this is like... So for me...
we don't know her thought process. We don't know if she's just gathering her receipts so that she can finally just get out of there. Because some people,
It doesn't sound like she is, though.
I'm not gonna lie.
She sounds like, at the ending, she's saying... she's explaining how her subconscious has reacted to this person, meaning that her body, her subconscious is basically saying, I don't want you because I don't want him to touch me.
But is that not alarm bells though? Like, is that not her saying, like, I don't think that I can be in a situation like this before?
Read it out
She
again.
said, I'm become genuinely turned off by his advances towards me. She's tried to communicate the above issues many times. He just manages to gaslight me to an extent that I just stop asking.
So there you are. So she's even just stopped. She stopped
There's
everything.
no fight anymore.
She's basically just...
she's tired.
She's exhausted, exactly. But I don't think that she's accepting the situation. I think she's reached out to Reddit for somebody to validate, like, whether or not this is somebody worth
I get that.
Staying with.
But like,
and I just don't think he is.
You know what? I really wish women would try and just like take a step back.
And
really
I think this is her form of step back, though,
but I hope that is her, no, but in the sense of stepping back out of that household, out away from him, away from his manipulation, away from him, like, you know, trying to make her feel like a
exactly, you know? And go somewhere where she knows that she's loved, she's happy.
She needs that community of people, whether it's just one friend, whether it's family, to reassure her that she's not like making things up, because these kind of situations can make a woman feel like, wait, am I looking too deep in? Am I thinking too much? Maybe he is just messaging her like and just being friendly, but wait, why would he need the Wi-Fi? But wait, you know, and it's just, it really mentally just like
chips away
completely.
I don't want her to think that because she's only been married a little over a year that, you know, this is something that's salvageable. Like, because when somebody does something like this, it's showing you who they are. I can casually just message people that I've had a sexual relationship with in the past. I can casually have my girl best friend take my hoodies. It's just like disrespect after disrespect after disrespect. You know, the first few years are supposed to be the hardest, and I get, like, you know, everyone's adjusting, but like, he's doing things that are just like very unmarriage. They're very like,
it's just being a little boy. There are people that grow out of it. It's up to her whether she wants. No, but that's up to her now.
That's going to happen.
Allah can change the person, but it also comes from that person's intention. If they choose to want to develop themselves in a better way, then yes, they can. But if they don't have that intention within them, then of course they're not going to bother. But
I don't think, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think this man respects anything in his life. And
it doesn't sound like he does.
I feel like I'm making a big bold statement, but from what I'm seeing, the way she's gathered this information, it doesn't seem like he respects his friends. He doesn't respect his wife. There's like, to me, it just seems like he's basically living for himself. And I think she needs to do the same. Like, she needs to escape this. I think, like he said, she needs to be in an environment where she's able to think for herself, talk to people about the situation to get a different perspective. Because he's mind-effed her so much that, like, at some point, she would have thought all of these things were bad.
Yeah.
But like, she's still, do you know what I mean? And I get it. Maybe she's in that space where she wants to get out now. But I just think, I don't know, man. I just don't think he's worth it.
I think she knows the difference between what's right and what's wrong. These are 3 very wrong things that he's doing. He hasn't even been married to her for long.
Yeah.
If you don't have any children, like,
you've escaped. But also it's the idea that what are you willing to accept? Like, how much are you willing to accept before you leave? And sometimes, like, if you're a very hard-headed person, like, knows yourself properly, like, you wouldn't obviously accept bad behavior like this. But if you don't know who you are and you're quite young, and like I was saying, at 23, if I got married to a toxic person like this, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have stayed for 4 years.
We all go through our own thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Everyone has some sort of toxicity that they go through, and they always think to themselves, well, it's not as bad. But when you hear other people's situation, you're like, girl, get out.
Exactly.
But I feel like if we said to each and every one of ourselves, with everything that we've been through, girl, get out, none of us would be married.
No.
Exactly.
None of us would
100%.
be married.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's just one of those things like where she sounds fed up. Just go get out for a minute. Go and reevaluate yourself, reevaluate like the situation, the marriage. I don't know, you Muslim, make istikhara.
Yeah.
You know,
I think she is a Muslim girl.
Yeah.
I also just think there's plenty of fish in the sea, love.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that. I think
there's a lot of fish in the sea.
There's a lot of maybe not as nice fish, but you know, your salmon might be there.
Halima, I really agree with like you saying that everyone's circumstances are different, and there are things that people are willing to withstand that other people aren't. And I think it just depends. It's a case by case basis. It is case by case.
Right? Like if I were to give you guys, say for an example, something I went through, you guys probably be like, what? Like, get out.
Yeah.
Why are you? What's wrong with you? Are you mad?
Yeah.
But you could do the same thing to me, and I would be like, are you guys still married? Like, to the same man.
That's so
But it's
true.
a level of how much you can
endure.
Yeah. And also, if this man literally looks like he's going to develop himself in a better way. I like to say develop himself and not say change, because I think there's only so much individuals can change. We are carved the way we are, and we can only develop within ourselves. We can't really change. I don't know if you guys agree.
I think you can work towards change, but you need to show action.
If you're
not doing the action to work towards that, then
so you can't expect someone to change like 360.
Like, it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, but like if he was to show you that, you know, there's developments that, you know what, he's apologetic, for example, and he says, look, you know what, like, I'm wrong, forgive me, I'm deleting these people, I'm changing my number, I don't need your hotspot. Then, you know, it's something like, it's up to you how many chances you want to give somebody, and it's up to you how you want to take the relationship. But if you feel that you're one of those people that you feel that he's not going to change, he doesn't care, it just looks like he doesn't want to be in this marriage, is almost like a marriage by name, and
only she knows her partner. She knows if he is the sort of person or the sort of personality that is willing to.
So that's really down to you, love. Everyone can give in their stories, but it always does come down to, you know, that person best, so you know what you need to do. So as I said to you guys, we all sometimes do know what we need to do. We just need to look for people maybe to validate our feelings, or, you know, it is, you know, essentially sometimes people really do know what to do. They just need...
You do, but you're just either too scared to say it.
Or
you're too scared to act on it.
Yeah.
But deep down, and her intuition's telling her that, because her own body's saying, don't touch me.
Yeah, I feel like with her, like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it just sounds like he doesn't care. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm so sorry. Like, I know that sounds really like straightforward, but
you're actually the cutest.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, but it's not.
I'm sorry, but it sounds like, it's the way she's worded everything. It just sounds like he does not care about you.
Yeah, I think as soon as the man stops caring, there's no, like,
did he ever care?
I don't know, but it's like, as
you
soon
guys
as
started your marriage on a pact that, you know, like,
that
you're not allowed
fell
to have
apart.
a girl, and, you know, your ex and this. I mean, those things should not even be in the question, if I'm very honest with you.
I agree.
You know, why is
it with love?
Yeah, it should start with like fresh. No exes should be even involved in.
Like,
this
take
situation.
every day as it comes with the person.
Exactly. If an ex like appeared out of nowhere, it's almost like, oh, why are you messaging me? Oh, why is she messaging me?
Yeah.
Block.
Exactly, but it came with conditions.
Yeah, it came with the right. So you can't have male friends, you can't have female friends, you can't have exes,
it's long.
You can't have this.
It's all long.
Dude,
and I just,
like, if you can't even respect your partner to be able to speak to the opposite gender in a respectful manner, in a public place, then there's, you know, it's probably just more an emotional issue that you have from something that stemmed from before, maybe.
And I genuinely just think, if you're exhausted, and to me it seems like she is, of constantly reassessing, of looking at the situation differently, of finding these creepy shit, like, it's just, I'm tired. And I think she needs to prioritize herself, your mental health.
100%.
Love.
I do think she needs to prioritize herself. I never want to make it sound like I'm...
No, not you.
No, but I'm just trying to reevaluate what I've said, because you almost kind of have to remember, wait, hold on, you can't make someone feel... Just because some little words can make people feel triggered, and then they're like, oh, like, I'm the problem. But no, you're not the problem, babes. Like, the problem is the situation.
Exactly.
And everything on hand, and him. What?
Yeah.
And the solution is how you both decide to deal with it.
100%. Take a break. Take a kick.
The solution is how she decides to deal with it.
No, but
her own head.
I think he needs to be able to.
But I think he needs, I think
because the relationship doesn't work one way. Like, as much as we want to be, I think this is where that masculine energy comes in, because you're saying it in a way where it's like, listen, like, this is how it's going to be dealt with. You don't have an option, but his options are either you fix up and you want to be in this relationship on good terms, not these, you know, dodgy terms, and you respect me as your wife, as a woman, a woman that could be the mother of your future children, or go about your business, go back to your porn, go back to whatever it is. I'll guide you. Go back to whatever it is, but no point. Like, men, if you're watching this,
here we go.
Direct.
If you are watching this, leave her alone, or just be nice to her. Right? Like, why do you need to do all of this? What is the reason? What was the reason?
What
is it mummy issues? Daddy issue? What issue is it that you're having that you need to... It really,
like, project onto your, like, the person that you claim to love.
And it is, a lot of the times it's either to do with the home that they've been brought up in, I don't know, exes that they've had, relationships that they've had, siblings, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunt. I don't know what it is, but fix up.
It's not my problem.
It's not my problem. It's not the women's problem. The women need to know, like, you know, that they need to go in one way and the men need to go in one way, and you need to work together to be able to have a somewhat successful relationship. Every relationship has an up and down, but if it's always down,
I don't know.
Then that's
then
a
you
big
need to get up.
sign.
Like with the disrespect that she's facing as well. Like, if you think about the element of like being married to a friend, or like, I'm hoping like the marriages that we have, like the people that we're with or whoever's with, like you've got an element of friendship, like a base foundation of friendship. Like even if he's like doing these weird, different, like whatever shit he's doing, I would have thought there'd be like a base of friendship, of kindness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, I don't see that.
No.
Like,
she's kind of like straight up said, this is what he does.
Yeah.
But there's no love in this message, by the way.
But there's no, he's not really considering her.
No.
At all.
Because like, I feel like if she felt there was a level of love from him, she would have said like, he does take, I don't know, like people do
nice
things, little things. Like,
they do.
It's just literally,
they add little sprinkles.
Sprinkles. But she just hasn't said any of that. It's almost like, it's not even trophy wife. It's almost like, this is my girl. Yeah.
It's like almost she's forced on him.
Yeah.
For her own mental health. I think she should separate for a period of time to fix herself.
Yeah.
And to concentrate on herself. And then I think, like Halima said, she should give him the two options.
Yeah.
We're speaking from a feminine energy perspective. And then obviously see where he goes with that.
Yeah. Only she'll be able to judge the whole, like the end result at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, some men, they'll see it as like, oh, she's gone, cool.
Only she knows what's happened
Yeah.
in that household between them in that year and a bit that they've been together.
Yeah.
She knows how he is going to behave because, do you know what I mean? Familiarity.
Yeah.
You know someone's routines, you know what they do.
Yeah.
Only she knows.
Yeah.
So if she brings him these boundaries, or if she was to say like, oh, this is my like line or whatever, only she knows whether he's capable of crossing those boundaries. And if he is, I don't know if it's worth it, because you're going to have the same conversation about boundaries
Over
again
and
again and
no,
again.
It's not, no, I haven't got time for that.
No, it's jarring. I'm tired. Like, I want to
I'm
move on.
tired.
And she deserves love.
She does.
Healthy, happy, content, safe love.
Because it exists.
It does
It does exist.
It does.
Guys, we're going to carry on this conversation. Don't worry. Halima's going to come back to us. She's going to be... Every time someone comes here, we're like, you've got to be our third.
Not even gonna lie, I would come back. I'm here next week.
Inshallah. And then we can carry on the conversation. I think the next episode we do with you, we just need to talk about modest
fashion.
The history.
I don't even care about scenarios with you.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because I feel like people need to know who you are. People need to know who this girl is.
Put us on game.
She put everyone on game.
Anyway, guys, this is the end of our episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave us a lovely review on Apple Podcasts, because I've been seeing them and I'm loving them. I wish there was a way I could reply, but there isn't. Also YouTube, thank you guys so much, and don't forget to subscribe,
like, comment,
and do the
share.
usual, guys. And be nice.
Be nice.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Literally.
We're all human beings. We're just Benny Adams.
Literally.
Just Benny Adams.
Little baby Benny Adams.
Little baby Benny Adams. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.